again, everybody. Welcome back to another Allan Holdsworth lesson video. I apologize for the length of time that it's taken between videos. I had a huge computer problem. I ended up getting another laptop, as some of you on the Unreal Allan Holdsworth Facebook group would have seen. Some of my issues that I had finally all sorted out, and then I had to record my band's album, do all the guitar parts. So now that that's all done, I could finally devote some attention to this. So I decided today to do House of Mirrors, which I actually, as soon as I decided about doing it, I saw so many other people doing videos of it, so I said, this maybe is a good opportunity to do it. I also decided I'm going to make the videos shorter, because I'd rather them be easier to watch than putting out like a half hour video, which is crazy to me. So I'm going to try to break them up into smaller, more manageable chunks. And also we'll be able to do more videos if you guys appreciate it, because it won't take as much time. So House of Mirrors is going to be a 3-part video. This video is the most important one out of all of them, because I sort of think of the song in 3 parts. The intro, Allan usually plays it by himself. Then it comes back again, but with a slight variation, and then sort of like a different ending. And then the solo section, which is little variations of all the parts that have come before it. There's very few new chords that are introduced. Everything else is a part of the other 2 parts, just sort of rearranged. And then the ending, which is really very simple. So this is the most important one. It's going to have all the chords that you're going to need to play a majority of the song. And that's it. So let's get started. House of Mirrors intro section. I have to say that House of Mirrors is probably a top 3 of my favorite Allan songs. I think this is one of the first Allan songs that I had learned, so I know this one pretty intimately, pretty well. So, not a lot of chit-chat. Let's just get right to playing some of these chords. Now, this first chord is actually a B major chord with an add 11. It's a really smart voicing. You have your major triad here, B major, your 1, your 5, and your 3. Just like if you played it up here, but you're also adding in the 11 or the sus4. But why it's so tricky is Allan plays it all together. There's the 4 and the 3 together. This chord also appears in Against the Clock and in Mr. Burwell, the intro of it. So this chord is got a few places that it pops up in, but it's most predominantly played in House of Mirrors. So B major with an add 11. Then the next chord is actually a very cool voicing of a it's an E augmented chord with the flat 7 in it. So it's a 7 sharp 5 with the major 3rd being on the bottom in first inversion. So E flat major augmented chord, I should say. You got your E flat, your sharp 5, and your major 3rd. And then you have your major 3rd's on the bottom. This is your sharp 5. And then you have the flat 7 up here. And then what you do is you take your 3rd finger and move it up a half step. It's a little tricky for me because I usually lift up my 2nd finger. But now it becomes A flat minor triad right there, A flat minor with the 11 in it. And actually this is sort of like a cool 5 to 1. Alt 5 to your 1, if you want to think of it like that. So you have an A flat minor with then 11 in it. Then you use that augmented triad again. It's a B augmented chord right here, and with your 1st finger you're barring because you're playing the 11 on the top. So this is a B augmented add 11. Then you move that whole chord up a minor 3rd to D, so it's now a D augmented with an add 11. And then you move the other 2 notes, these with your 3rd and pinky, up a half step, and now you have E flat major add 11. That to its 6, which is C minor at 11. Then from there you play this. Now plays it with his first finger like this. The reason why I don't do that is because I can't actually reach the chord when it comes down here, but if I bar it, I can. So this is a B flat major triad, just like it's the same sort of triad that you would have seen in Three Sheets of the Wind or any of those other songs I have mentioned it, but now you're adding in the 11 on the top, the E flat. So this is a B flat major at 11, and then you replace the root with the major third, so you're playing the D with your pinky. Then after this, you're going to play same voicing as before. This D minor at 11. So let me play from here, so you get the gist of it. And then you have a first inversion A major triad with your major third on the bottom. Then comes that D major chord that I can't play like this. So I use my first finger to bar, and I'm able to use my pinky to grab the major third. It's just like this chord up here, the B flat. You just do it now in D, which is kind of a really tricky reach. Whoops. And then you top that off with a flat major 7 sharp 5. Now you sort of play the intro again, the first two chords, but now you're doing it in C. So C major at 11 to A minor at 11. Now here's a little weird thing. Allan doesn't always play the 11 for these chords. He plays an E major triad. You can also add the 11 if you want to, but he, for whatever reason, I don't think he does all the time. And then the C sharp minor triad there, once again not adding in the 11. So not sure why he does that. Now the next chord is a B major 7. Once again, you're taking that major 7, the major B major triad, and you're adding the major 7 with your pinky. And then B flat major, first inversion. Now this is the part that I see some people get a little wrong, and I actually got it wrong the first time I did it too. So the first chord is the same chord that you're playing before. It's an E flat major in first inversion. But now you move your first finger where the root is. You have two E flats. You have an E flat on your first finger and an E flat underneath your pinky. But now you move your first finger down a half step, and now you have a E flat major 7. So this is where it's tricky. You now move that chord to D, but your first finger is not playing the major 7, it's playing the flat 7. So now it's actually you play a flat 7 like this. The other way to do this is to take this note, if you want to grab it and play it over here on the A string. It's a little tricky, but it's hard sort of both ways. Then you play a G major. That saves G major with the add 11. Whoops, sorry. With that same motif where you're playing the major third, replacing the root. And then a B minor 11, B minor and 11, sorry. And is E flat major 7 sharp 11. Then you get this little tricky chord. You get a B augmented and then your flat 7. So this is actually a B7 sharp 5, but Allan also plays the D note on the top. So it's really a B7 sharp 5 sharp 9, this D up here being your sharp 9. Sometimes it goes up to E, which makes that chord really wacky. But I think he's really treating it as part of C melodic minor. And then he plays G major 7 sharp 11, but now you add the E, so it's really like a major 13 sharp 11. But sometimes he plays on the REH video, he'll play the E note on top here. Then we have a minor A minor 9. That crazy voicing that you see him play a lot. Now I find it much easier to play it here than I do up here like in Pud Wud. You kind of have to, I think I said this before last time, almost play with your hands sideways to grab this, which I find easier. Then you move to this chord, which is a B flat 9, but now you're adding in the 13 with the G on top. And then the last chord is, think of it as a C major with a D in the bass, or D9 sus4. That's it. So that's the whole intro. I'm going to play it once again just really quickly after this little break, and I'll talk about anything else afterwards. So see you in a sec. A lot of chords in this one, so I'm just going to play through it just so you get a gist of what it sounds like, and maybe talk a little bit more about it at the end. So here we go. So that's the intro part that Allan usually plays by himself. The only issue I have with his versions is that I love how it is on the record, but when he plays it live, I never feel that he allows that part to really breathe. It's always I've messed up there, but I feel like he kind of rushes through it like, yeah, let's get this part over with so he can get to the next part. But I feel the chords are really very beautiful, and there's a great melody to it, and I wish he allowed it to breathe a little bit more. So he usually plays that part alone. I think actually every time he plays that part alone. Then after that last part, like I said earlier in the video, it repeats again, but with the slightly different ending, and that part is where the actual full band starts. So yeah, if you got any questions, comments, critiques, concerns, anything else that starts with a C, let me know in the comments section. That also starts with a C, and I'll answer them. Anyway, thanks a lot for always checking out these videos. I really appreciate it, and hope you learned something. So practice hard, and I'll see you next time.